Good morning, welcome to Morning Outlook. This is Kim speaking on Tuesday the 1st of February. So we've seen all the balancing act going on over, through the end of yesterday. Let's now look ahead for today then. Well, we've seen the cash rate already for Australia left as is, as expected. Statement I haven't had a chance to read through, but there was a surprise there. I'm not too sure what it was. There you go. It's ended the quantitative easing. There you go. Just flick through the news briefly there. So there's the surprise. So that is a hawkish move, or positive move for the Australia. Should be a positive Australian move for the Australian dollar. However, whether we'll see much movement, we'll see. Anyway, right. Aside of that today then, Canadian GDP at 130, month-on-month figure. It never is a massive mover. Again, always we see a bit of volatility around these numbers. And then we got 3 o'clock, we got the ISM manufacturing PMI. Again, it's not the biggest of movers, but it's later in the day. It tends to help with whatever's happening at the time often, or slow it down, whichever it be. And that's pretty much it, unless you're trading in New Zealand dollar, in which case at 9:45 you've got the employment change, the jobs reports there at 9:45 GMT. So not a great deal left to come out, but some smaller movers there. Let's look at the technicals then, starting off looking at the euro and see what's happening here. So we've had quite a solid old bounce through that session yesterday, and it's continuing at the moment. Now, how much more it will continue through? It has broken a couple of levels I was looking at in terms on the shorting side of things. So it's broken a little bit. We've got a new monthly pivot coming in there at 112.78ish area, which in itself might become a point of resistance. So watching that, obviously, I say obviously, but watching this 4-hourly 50 at the moment. Now this is a first test, this 4-hourly 50, and we could see a bit of price action coming away from it. Sorry, I've left the volumes up there. We have got a bit of Irsi Divergence running into this as well. It doesn't mean say it's an immediate sell or something like that, but there's a bit of signs of softness, and you can see that through the 60-minute as well, the divergence running across there. Today's daily pivot sits below price at the moment. That could be a draw if it starts selling off, but just really looking to see what it does on these on the slightly bigger scale of things. Running it, as I say, that monthly pivot is quite key and could provide a resistance point. If it starts just pushing through all of these, well, we could be seeing a bigger correction here, and that may be the flavour for the short term or intermediate term trades. But for now, still looking, as I say, still looking bullish on the short time, but with some cracks. Okay, the pound also recovering slightly. It's pushed on through, solid old start to this morning now. It carried on pushing. It couldn't hold on for quite some time in the afternoon there. I thought it was going to roll back again, but no, it pushed up, and it is pushing up at the moment. Again, monthly pivots above there at 135.16, and these are great draws in terms of their often frequently hit. Sorry, it's a monthly pivot I'm looking at there, isn't it? They're frequently hit, and they can be decent resistance initially, but a good magnet also. So that's where we're sitting, looking at the hourlies here, higher lows, higher highs through on this cable. It's looking rather positive. As I said, it was a horrible day in some respects yesterday. Didn't get a trade off it at all, but maybe it's got a bit more potential today. But say the monthly pivot not that far away. Dollar yen. So dollar yen strengthening over the last couple of days as well, and it already is again today. Again, we've got We've got the weekly pivot still sitting below. We're already through its monthly pivot here. It was setting itself up in this wedge pattern, which yesterday I was looking to see if that broke to the upside, but no movement there. Breaking down, running towards its weekly pivot at this stage. May have further downside on that. Aussie dollar. Aussie dollar catching the bounce as well. Just looking through the market here, the tightening up there. I thought would have a bigger movement on the Aussie dollar, but then it really has by looks of things. Again, new monthly pivot sitting at 71.14. So all of these, they just give us a point of reference in terms of where these markets might go in either today, tomorrow. If it's pushing in that direction, it becomes a half decent target. Again, though, there's a bit of divergence sitting over the highs here. It's whether or not you can just push on through here. It's early signs of this move, and to say those monthly pivots can be a draw. They can also become resistance when it gets there. So you'll just see how things shape up. Right, that's an Aussie. Finally, the Canadian dollar. Again, selling. This one, the dollar selling against the Canadian dollar here. So again, dollar weakness showing at the moment, or some dollar weakness. Retracing here, and again, monthly pivot just sitting just below there. Lower highs coming through here. Bit choppy at times, certainly a bit choppy yesterday afternoon there, but eventually selling off, and that monthly pivot looking like a half decent target at the moment, and potentially then support. But with the lower highs, lower lows, it does look like it's in a slightly bigger move. Well, I'll have to have a look at the measure during the day there and see how much more it could have. There are some support areas apart from the monthly pivot itself. When the monthly pivot sits around its daily 21, these areas I'll just sort of check later, but get the picture together. But at the moment, yeah, it does look like it's a potential further downside there. Gold. So looking at gold, we're seeing a bounce there then yesterday into today at the moment. Again, this goes with the softer dollar. And again, we've got the monthly pivot sitting above us, so the new monthly pivot becomes a bit of a target this morning, or right away across. And I mean, whether if price can start pushing up above those levels, then it starts becoming a more bullish scene. But for now, it's got the high lows in there. It's doing all the right things to move towards it. There was divergence. It's worked its way off there. As it's pushed through here. As I say, there's a weekly pivot and the monthly pivot sitting up there, so some half decent targets up there if you can keep a move on. Just watch out for the divergences that run through. Okay, that's pretty much that. Let's have a look at oil. Oil was doing its best yesterday, and then it did end up closing up okay, a positive. It was a bit of a dance, but it was selling off it tried in the morning, sold off in the afternoon, and picked up again, obviously, after I stopped looking at it. But there you go, solid 4 o'clock session onwards, so the US session quite solid. Selling it off again at the moment. I just wait for these to see if there's a daily pivot sitting below there. Might just give some support. This was the level I was looking for yesterday, but it just kept on selling whilst I was trading. Looking to trade at 5 o'clock, it broke through that area. Hasn't gone up and hit the area I would have been looking for. The daily pivot was sitting about 88.70ish yesterday. That would have been a target, but not been hit there yet. I say daily pivot, daily R1. Today, just looking a tad soft at the moment as we start the day, and we might just see more of what we saw yesterday. We keep seeing these sort of patterns just dropping off. It's quite choppy at the moment. You can probably see it on the 4-hourly better in terms of this chop that's sort of running through there. But it is holding up around the highs, which makes me think, well, eventually we could see $90 to $100 barrel. If it goes like this, if the dollar continues to weaken, well, it gives it a better chance of pushing up there as well. Okay, that's pretty much that. Let's have a look across the different markets then. As I will look at Bitcoin as it's here. Bitcoin yesterday picking up okay. It was still, well, it's making some steady progress here. Bitcoin, it's yeah, over the last week or so, trying its best to push up there. In the bigger scale of things, to me, there's still signs of weakness, but we're seeing a softer dollar, and there's logic in seeing Bitcoin, Ethereum, etc. all catching a bounce from this. And as the day goes through today, we might see a bit of a continuation. The key thing for all of these is, well, their moving averages. I've got a 21 moving average sitting on here at the moment, and so long as it's sitting below that, it's, for me, it's on the more bearish side of things. And well, likes of Ripple can't really move at the moment, it's stagnant. Cardano stagnant. I mean, there's a lot of these just really not doing too much at all. So there's a few that are just picking up a little bit again, but a lot of them just sitting there very consolidated. In fact, Bitcoin is sort of effectively leading the way a little bit there. FTM, which I keep an eye on, well, that's not doing anything at the moment. So some potential, but in real view on Bitcoin, it really is a bear flag at the moment. So a breakdown of the lows there might see it run back to its absolute lows there, or even further. Right, that's pretty much it for me. I wish you a great day's trading, and I will. Oh, I've forgotten the indices. Let's have a quick look at the indices before someone reminds me. Okay, let's just look at what's happening. Are we still closed? Closed. The CSI 300 still closed, close to the week. Okay, Nikkei did gain a bit over through the Asian session there, but closed down on its open, just closing the gaps off by looks of things there, but it's still in a bearish zone to me. FTSE yesterday couldn't make any headway, just sold back, and it might now be petering off. The DAX did a bit better, but again, there's sort of the positioning and the overall chop. Yes, it might. I'm sort of looking at these sort of swings from the highs here to the lows and back to the high and then back to a low, and you're sort of seeing it range bound. Yes, it might push up there. You just got to be careful. At some point, it'll either push on through and that continue, or it's going to be turning over, and maybe turning over a bit early. We saw it do that back here. It couldn't make it back to the highs there, and it just rolled back. It's got to just be a bit wary. CAC again, seems similar sort of situation here, not really pushing too much at the moment. S&P's solid day yesterday. We would expect this for what's going on there. So another solid day with the S&Ps for now. Nasdaq likewise, but they're still in a sort of a short-term intermediate bearish pattern for me overall. So do wonder if we've got more downside on these. Nifty 50, just looking at Nifty 50, well, it's doing much the same at the moment. It's pushed up, but it's doing really what the what we saw over here with the Nikkei. It's coming back off the highs there, and similar sort of case, which makes me wonder if these markets will just sort of run south again. Okay, that's pretty much it for me. I wish you a great day's trading, and I'll catch you in the morning. Bye for now.